Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. The program is coming live to you on NBT, Radio Thailand, FM 88, and also through NBT World. My name is Cholapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us this Wednesday, March the 11th of 2015. In today's Thailand Moves Forward, the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives is giving cattle farmers continuous support in an effort to increase the competitive edge of the Thai milk industry in the ASEAN market. Minister to Agriculture and Cooperatives Ministry, Pitipong Phungbunna Ayuthaya, has revealed that 50 producers of cow's milk met with the Prime Minister, General Prayut Chan-o-cha, to thank him for the support the government has given them over the past year. Measures taken by the government to assist the milk producers include a 1 baht price hike for 1 kilogram of raw milk, thereby raising the selling price of milk to 19 baht per kilogram. The government has also been able to resolve several issues within the cow's milk cooperative and endorse the importation of 22,000 tons of non-fat milk powder this year to cope with the ongoing shortage. 40% of milk produced domestically goes into the school program that aims to provide milk for all school children, while the remainder is being used commercially. Thailand is currently the largest milk producer in ASEAN. And the Thai Prime Minister will be in Japan on Friday and Saturday to attend the 3rd World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction, that is. General Prayut Chan-o-cha, the Thai Prime Minister, indicated that he would attend the event to relay Thailand's experiences in dealing with the 2004 tsunami and flood disasters, in addition to reasserting Thailand's commitment to supporting disaster risk reduction. According to government spokesperson Dr. Yongyut Mayalap, the emphasis will be made on preemptive collaboration between the state and civic sectors on disaster prevention.
Resolved to approve the proposal by the Ministry of Interior for the Royal Thai Government to endorse the draft of the post-2015 framework for disaster risk reduction, as well as the Sendai Declaration, both which relate to the legal and policy aspects of Thailand's role in international disaster risk reduction. The endorsement of the draft follows on from the progress achieved at the 6th Asian Ministerial Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction in 2014, in which Thailand was the host. The post-2015 framework for disaster risk reduction was adopted at the 3rd UN World Conference on Disaster Risk Reduction and sets international guidelines and modalities for cooperation on disaster risk reduction. The Sendai Declaration reaffirms international political determination to strengthen disaster risk reduction worldwide. Some of the guiding principles of the post-2015 framework include managing the risk of disasters should be aimed at protecting persons, their properties, livelihoods and productive assets while respecting their human rights, and global, regional and transboundary cooperation is essential and requires further strengthening in accordance with international obligations. The post-2015 framework emphasizes that concerted international cooperation and an enabling international environment are required to stimulate and contribute to developing the knowledge, capacities and motivation needed for disaster risk reduction at all levels.
The World Conference in Sendai, Japan is expected to be attended by around 8,000 participants, with thousands more participating in events linked to the conference. The government is planning to lower the price of lottery tickets to 80 baht per pair and introduce vending machines to distribute the tickets. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha revealed after chairing Tuesday's cabinet meeting that he hoped the price of government lottery could be decreased and that related laws would have to be studied before lottery machines could be installed.
On the 10th of March 2015, the cabinet gave its approval to the draft Royal Act on the National Lottery Office. This is to amend the existing Royal Act BE 2517 on 1974 to provide support for the National Lottery Office in having the authority to issue various types of lotteries according to the international forms and to adjust the proportion of the revenue from the lottery sale allocated towards differing purposes to be more appropriate. The Ministry of Finance has been of the opinion that the Royal Act of the National Lottery Office BE 2517 that is in effect at the present time does not cover various categories of lotteries that are on sale in countries around the world and has restrictions in its implementation since the Act was drafted back in 1974 without any adjustment for more than 40 years. It was therefore appropriate to amend the Royal Act in the part concerned, for example, to alter the objectives of the establishing of the National Lottery Office to include the issuing of lotteries for public benefits, increase the authority of the Office Committee in determining the format of the lotteries, adjust the proportion of the revenue, and set up the Lottery Administering Fund to serve as the fund for buying back unsold lotteries. In terms of the allocation of revenue received from the sale of the National Lottery, the new Act will provide 60% of the revenue as lottery prices as before, but adjust the following proportions, namely no less than 20% as country's revenue, compared to 28% under the present Royal Act, and no less than 15% as management expenses, compared to 12% under the present Royal Act. There will also be another 5% allocated as a contribution towards the Lottery Administering Fund, which had never been done before. Similar proportions will also be applied to the revenue received from the sale of lotteries issued for public benefits. It is important for the public to note that such amendment of the Royal Act will not affect the existing amounts of lottery prices, but will simply be the alteration of the system so that the office will be able to buy back the unsold lottery tickets. The Royal Act will also increase the channels for the sale of national lotteries by providing lottery dispensing machines that will help reduce the price of the lottery.
According to Dr. Yongyut Mayalab, the government spokesperson, the bill also addresses social concerns such as keeping children and youths out of the lottery trade, banning the sale of lottery tickets to buyers under 20 years of age, and barring ticket sales at schools and nearby locations. Government agencies that have created apps for mobile device users have been told to utilize the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, or ICT, as a public access point for apps by state agencies. Government spokesperson Sansern Kaew-Kamnert revealed after Tuesday's cabinet meeting that the Electronic Government Agency had informed the cabinet of the option to provide the public with access to state services through a central archive of mobile device applications by various state agencies. In response, the cabinet had tasked state agencies that have their own mobile device apps to report to the ICT Ministry in order for the Electronic Government Agency, or EGA, to make its central collection of apps. The spokesman said this would allow the public more ease in accessing the services provided by the apps. Also on Tuesday, the Cabinet endorsed in principle the draft of the bill on international cooperation in criminal affairs. The draft has undergone amendment aimed at ensuring compliance with the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, that was in 2003, as well as ASEAN's Treaty on Mutual Assistance in Criminal Matters. The Office of Basic Education Commissioner OBEC will resort to an innovative approach to raise the literacy level of Primary 1 students. According to OBEC, it is Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha's wish to see Primary 1 students nationwide being able to read and write well. The Prime Minister also wants the national curriculum to include vocational training for middle school students. OBEC has collaborated with the Office for the Vocational Education Commission to determine how the particular educational pathway would be set up. It is said that students who follow the framework will graduate from high school with 2 diplomas. One is based on the core curriculum required for high school students in regular schools, and the other recognizing those joining a vocational education program. Such a pathway would be implemented in regional schools. The Prime Minister also stressed the need for Thai students to be fluent in English and to have the opportunity to study the language with native speakers. The National Reform Council has been updated on the progress of each reform effort aimed at solving the problems of economic and social inequality. Vice Chairman of the NRC's Committee on Charter Drafting, Chu Chai Supawong, on Tuesday presented an update on the progress of all reform plans to the main meeting, chaired by President Tianchai Kiranan. The key message Mr. Chu Chai delivered was how much has been done by related committees to solve economic and social inequality in Thailand. He added that the reform of the public administration is a very important tool for the management of the country and its successful reform. It will be instrumental for the success of other similar attempts, he said. And the spokesman of the Constitution Drafting Committee, or CDC, has revealed that the Election Commission, the Office of Ombudsman, and the National Human Rights Committee will soon be invited to share their opinions on the draft charter. CDC spokesman General Ratana Wanit said that the first draft charter is expected to be ready for the National Reform Council to review by the end of this month. General Rat added that there will likely be at least 26 draft laws, including 12 organic laws and 14 main laws, to be presented to the National Legislative Assembly, or NLA, to deliberate. In addition, the CDC is planning to invite members of the EC, the Office of the Ombudsman, and the National Human Rights Committee to share their opinions about the draft charter on March 12th. General Rat went on to say that even after the new charter is put into use, the EC will still be responsible for organizing the election. The Institute Against Corruption and Misconduct has petitioned to the Constitution Drafting Committee to push for the reform of independent organizations in order for them to tackle cases of corruption and misconduct effectively. The Institute's representatives and National Reform Council members Wasan Pai Lik Lee and also Sangsit Piriyarangsan submitted a petition to CDC Chairman Dr. Bawansak Uwano. The petition called for power enhancement for the National Anti-Corruption Commission in order to enable it to immediately consider corruption cases involving politicians and Level 10 civil servants. Meanwhile, the NACC's commissioners should have the tenures reduced to 6 years in order to motivate them to expedite their work. The NACC must also be required to publicize ongoing cases in order to stay accountable to the public. The petition also called for the Office of the Public Sector Anti-Corruption Commission to be categorized as an independent organization like the NACC. It should also be given the responsibility for considering corruption cases of civil servants below Level 10. The petitioners claim that a clear detailing of the roles and responsibilities of the two organizations would make the consideration of cases more effective. Furthermore, the petition called for the structuring of provincial NACC bodies into regional jurisdictions led by investigation teams in order to prevent political influence. In addition, the petition called for the reform of various anti-corruption and misconduct laws, such as the reform of legislation pertaining to the repatriation of corruption-related fugitives across borders. Particular matter PM level in Chiang Mai has exceeded safe levels, affecting people's health and causing smog throughout the province. Most of the hotspots there have been found in Ma Cham district. Chiang Mai on Tuesday reported its overall air quality from 15th February till 8th of March 2015, and it was deemed harmful with PM10 levels ranging from 61 to 181 microgram per cubic meter. More than 3,800 raya forests were affected by forest fires, and 599 hotspots were detected. Most of them were in Ma Cham, followed by Chiang Dao and also in Ma Tang. Chiang Mai Governor Surya Prasad Bandit said air pollution was now very high in the province. The Chiang Mai municipality, as well as provincial and local administrative organizations, were instructed to spray water mist into the air more frequently. The worsening situation had started to affect tourists, said the governor. Public health officers in Chiang Mai have handed out more than 100,000 face masks and treated those who were affected by the air pollution. The governor added that it would be very helpful if artificial rains were conducted. Women today play a greater role in many fields, and the International Women's Day, recently celebrated, provides an opportunity to mark the achievements of women while calling for greater representation. Kun Niranut Raijakwanit has a story.
A network of women's organizations nationwide marched along Ratchadamran Road in celebration of International Women's Day on 8th of March, promoting women's rights and urging the government to ensure equal representations of women in politics and in the new charter. More than 1,000 activists from the women's networks and other relevant groups attended an International Women's Day forum that focused on reforming the country with a greater emphasis on women's equal rights in politics. Activists wish to make it clear that women nowadays are equal to men in terms of ability and now even outnumber men, so they cannot be overlooked. The Association for the Promotion of the Status of Women, or APSW, under the royal patronage of Her Royal Highness Somsawali, is a non-profit organization established to provide assistance to women and children. Dr. Suthira Vichitranon from the APSW talks about the important role of women in politics.
We accepted or we adopted that the 8th of March be our International Women's Day because our workers who in fact work hard and earn a lot of money for our country. They work long hours and they don't get enough rest and get less pay and so on. So starting from that, then the government recognized it to the international countries.
Women are known to be an important force that is propelling the country and working for reform to ensure gender equality. Since the female population of Thailand is now almost 2 million more than male populations, the activists hope that the new constitution will stipulate that there should be an equal number of females and males in parliament and in national and local politics. I'm Niranut Traijakwanit reporting.
And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. We'll now take a quick look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. After that, Newsline will take a break and we will return with international news.
Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The second core value, being honest, sacrificing, showing restraint and determinations in doing good for the majority.
Even if we don't see them, they are amongst us. And they're hungry. Slay your power-sucking monsters. Take their power away. Think when you plug.
NBT World, a 24-hour English language television service operated by the National News Bureau of Thailand, or NNT, is designed to bring the most reliable information about Thailand to the international community. NBT World is available on various platforms, including via C-band set-top boxes, GMMZ Channel 202, PSI Channel 272, and a live stream on thainews.prd.go.th/newsing. You can also follow us on facebook.com/NNT News or download the PRD News EN application on your smartphones. NBT World, a vision of Thailand.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Beginning with ASEAN and beyond, we'll have a look at a tradition, an ancient tradition in Vietnam. Every year after Lunar New Year celebrations, Vietnam residents in Niam Tong village, around 30 kilometers north of Hanoi, traditionally carry out a public slaughtering of 2 well-fed pigs. But this tradition has met with opposition from animal welfare groups. Hundreds of people, many of them children, gather to watch the pigs being chopped in half. Villagers then dip banknotes into the freshly spilled blood and put them on altars in their homes to wish for good health and luck. The yearly event honors a general believed to have killed wild hogs to feed his starving soldiers after they repelled invaders centuries ago. This year's procession was met with opposition from Hong Kong-based animal welfare group Animals Asia Foundation. They launched a campaign to collect signatures for stopping the festival at Niam Thong village. Animals Asia Vietnam said they plan to use the petition to urge Vietnam's National Assembly at its upcoming gathering in May to include a new clause in the law that would make violating animal welfare a crime. Many villagers at Niam Thong, however, remain defiant. Nguyen Van Hung, a villager, said, "We will keep chopping the pigs. We will keep doing it. Nobody has the right to forbid us. No law has the right to stop us. No one should violate the rights, the honor and the value of Vietnam and its villages." Vietnam's Institute of Culture and Information researcher Nguyen Chi Ben urged the festival to be seen from a different perspective. He said that if looked through a religious perspective, it is an act of religion, and villagers are turning the animal into an offering for their religion. The bodies of 8 French nationals and 2 Argentines who died in a helicopter crash in western Argentina on Monday were taken to the morgue for autopsies as authorities investigate the cause of the collision. 3 French sports stars, Olympic swimmer Camille Muffat, yachtswoman Florence Arthuard, and Olympic boxer Alexis Vastin were among the 10 people killed when 2 helicopters collided during the filming of a reality TV show. Virginia Ilanis Borden, the magistrate judge in charge of the investigation, confirmed the fatalities and said that both Argentina and France were in mourning. Authorities said it was still unclear what caused the accident in the rugged western province of La Rioja near the Andes Mountains. The judge confirmed that all 10 bodies had been retrieved from the helicopter's mangled ruins and had been taken to a morgue in the provincial capital. Spokesperson for Argentina's Air Accident Investigation Board said it was too early to determine if human error, mechanical failure, or something else was to blame. 2 French investigators as well as 2 technical experts were dispatched to Argentina to help gather evidence. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. If you do have any comments or suggestions, please write to us. The email address is now appearing on your screen. And today we say goodbye, taking you to Brunei to have a look at a giant turtle there. I'm Cholapan Sanarula. Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great day. Sawasdee ka.